It's not every day that a team signs a player that last played in the league in the 2023-2024 season. But the Pacers are now, 4 for 4 in the last two seasons of just signing players that haven't played in the league in years. I mean, we had Moses Brown, we had Jahlil Okafor, we had Tony Bradley. Tony Bradley was still on the team at the beginning of this year, and I mean, he was still playing. And now we signed Jalen Slauson, who didn't play at all last season, and he played 12 games with the Kings a couple years ago, averaged less than one in every stat but minutes. He even averaged 1.3 PER. Now, I understand the Pacers need a guy because, well, Zubac is still game time decision, Siakam is still game time decision, and so are Nemhard and Neesmith. And you got two players out for the entire season. And most players on this team that are currently rostered have been just very inconsistent. I mean, with Shepard, you don't know if he's going to turn to Steph Curry or if he's going to go 0 for 5. With the rookies, you don't know necessarily still where they're at in their development. They're still very much in that beginning because, first off, they're not getting a lot of minutes because they're not just. Taylor Peters mainly a two-way guy. He's only played 26 games. And then Cam Jones, he's played 22, mainly because of injury, but he's only played 22 games. He is coming off a 10 and 10 game, so that's not bad. He's had an 11 assist game and he's had 12-point scoring games, but a lot of games he's just in for a minute or two, especially if we're losing by 50. And then our forwards, Obi Toppin's just now getting fully healthy. Jarris Walker has been one of our better players. Same with Micah Potter. Kobe Brown, up and down guy, but he has been showing, flashes of actually being a heck of a player. He's averaging 10 points per game and 7 rebounds with the Pacers, which he is one of the better rebounders on this roster right now. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually leads us in rebounds for the season. Yeah, he does. Leads us in rebounds for the season. Only Siakam is right there with him. And then McConnell. I love McConnell, one of my favorite players on this team. He is also a little bit inconsistent. But this year he's been a little bit of a down year just because he has been injured more than he usually is. I mean, in the last three seasons, from the 2022-2023 season to last season, he missed just a total of 21 games in total. And then this year himself, he's pretty much already hit that. He actually missed exactly 21 games. So, I'm just hoping everything gets better for next season. I will be talking about next season, just kind of my opinions on what necessarily I want to happen with this team. But first, in the rotation, just for right now, because we just keep having a lot of random players show up, I'm going to switch things up a little bit. At first, I'll keep starting Cam Jones just to get the rookie a lot more experience, just to see what he's genuinely capable of. Because his contract we can cut, and there's going to be no guarantee money out of it. Quentin Jackson's also has a partial guarantee, so we have structured these contracts very well, and I'm very happy that the Pacers did that because Jones and Jackson are very much likely cut candidates for next year. So those are two to really look at to see if they're even going to be on the roster. Now, Jones, I'll start at point. I'm going to continue with Ben Shepherd at the shooting guard just to maintain McConnell on the bench and just bring that energy off the bench. Obviously, right now we're just losing games, but it's still fun just to see McConnell go in and show what he's going to do next season once everyone is healthy. And then just keep Shepard because Shepard is a good defender. I mean, his defense has been a little bit down this year. He hasn't been rotating as well as he usually does. But overall, I mean, his 3 point numbers are starting to climb back up. He did start the season at less than 30%, and now he's at 35. So that's always good to see. Coming off some pretty decent scoring games. I mean, he was 3 for 7 the other day. He had a 2 for 6, a 3 for 6, and just a bunch of games where he's shooting between 50 and 60% from three. Exactly what we need. Jarris Walker and Obi Toppin continue to man the 3 and 4. So I'm not really changing the lineup too much, at least the starting lineup. But Kobe Brown I have as like a candidate to like start slash be a six man at the moment, just because of the way he's been playing. One of our best rebounders. He's been a decent scorer, a 10 point per game scorer off the bench. When he started, he is putting up some pretty good stat lines. I'm like good role player stat lines, obviously not star player stat lines, but Toppin and Walker, and I'm just basing all this off of our star players being injured, just because I want to see what kind of rotations get utilized while the starters are actually out. Because Siakam might actually be back um, tomorrow, so I'll talk more about that in tomorrow's episode. But I would like to see Jalen Slauson get some minutes too, just to see what he's capable of. I mean, he hasn't played in a couple seasons, but that didn't stop Tony Bradley from doing his thing. Slauson is 26 years old, so he's still a young guy, but not a lot of experience compared to most people on this team. And then this is the one change I would make in the starting lineup. I would start Micah Potter at the moment just to get Jay Huff back on track. Now, Micah Potter recently has been on a tear. Three straight games of 18 or plus points off the bench. Um, not his best rebound, but he did have 9 rebounds against Memphis. He had a double double against Brooklyn, which in that game he actually also was off the bench. Last game he started, he had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And Jay Huff has tended to actually play better off the bench because every time he has a bad game or something and then gets benched, he ends up having a way better game. I mean, he had 10 points in his last game off the bench. He had 16 and 10 in his other two last games off the bench. But he's been very inconsistent in a starting lineup. Philadelphia, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 of 7 shooting, 0 for 4 from three. Dallas, he was 4 for 4 from inside the 2 point line, 0 for 6 from three. There's just a lot there that you would want to see Jay Huff kind of work on and get better at. So for now, I would start Micah Potter. He's averaging almost 10 points a game this year. In the last few games, he's averaging over 18. So we'll see what he does. We'll see what Red Carlisle decides to do against the Clippers. Now, if Zubac comes back, because there's a lot of game time decisions on this team, so we're hoping to see at least one of those players come back and just make their debut. We just saw Darius Garland make his Clippers debut. He had 12 points. So they're utilizing their players a lot more now. We'll see what happens. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in all the action. Playing Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite player is going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, or more. Get your picture you can win to 5,000 times your cash. Now, let's go with two of the best scorers in the league right now, Luka Doncic and Victor Wembanyama. Luka Doncic currently 30.5 points. He hasn't actually gotten a 30-point game in a few games, which is crazy to think about. But against New Orleans, it's going to happen. He's going to go higher. He is due for a big game. And then Wembanyama against Philadelphia with no Embiid, 24.5 points. That's a higher in my opinion as well. Yes, Stephon Castle has picked up a lot of the scoring, so has De'Aaron Fox. But Wembanyama is still the best scorer, the best player on this team, and he is going to have a great game against Philadelphia, who are undermanned right now. They are coming off a big loss against the Knicks, which everyone besides Wemby was just kind of off their game. And even Wemby had 7 turnovers in that game. But he did have 25, 13, and 4 blocks, with averages of 24.2, 11, and 3 blocks. I mean, he's basically unguardable at this point. But I think he's gonna go higher in this one. So use a promo code basketball fan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Once again, this is promo code basketball fan. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
I'm back. Now, let's talk about next season. I know it's a little early, but I want to talk about next season. Now, first things first, we have our starting center. Easy as that. That's the main thing we've been needing. We have our starting power forward. We have our starting point guard. Those two positions are fully set no matter what. In my opinion, maintain the Nemhard starting lineup role because I much would rather have Nemhard starting than Neesmith starting. And I'm only saying this for draft purposes. Now, if I had to choose which of the two I feel like is more consistent or which of the two I feel like is better as a starter, I'm going to go with Nemhard. And then if we get that top four pick, you have Devonta and you have Cameron Boozer. You got two of the best players in the country. That one of them will be there whenever we have the second pick, one of them's going to be there. We have the third pick, most likely going to be there because someone is going to choose Darren Peterson, either one or two, if that's not us. But I just don't think we need a shooting guard as much as we would need a small forward. I don't mind Neesmith being one of the first people off the bench because I obviously love how the way he plays. I wish he was a little bit more consistent, but we've seen what Neesmith can do at his best. 8 threes against the Knicks in the conference finals. Yeah, we've seen how ridiculous he can get, how Steph Curry like he can play, and just the heat checks. Now, I would also like to see some different players on the bench because I really don't know how Cam Jones or Quentin Jackson or just pretty much any one of you know either some of the two-way guys or some of the rookies. I don't really truly know what their role is going to be on the team next year, especially with Halliburton coming back and with Zubac finally playing, everyone being fully healthy. I mean, we never know. Maybe Toppin falls out of the rotation. He becomes a trade target, or McConnell ends up becoming a trade target. There's a lot of players in the NBA that are disgruntled with their organizations. I mean, you just go to Sacramento and you'll see pretty much everyone doesn't want to be there. A team that has four former All Stars and players that could still be All Stars, and they've won 13 games this year. So we've seen how bad some of these chemistry rosters can get. Ours, on the other hand, we've always had good chemistry between our players. I mean, that's kind of the reason we were so good last year. But in a season where we have one player averaging over 20 and then only four in total averaging over 10, and I'm not counting Kobe Brown because I'm just looking at his overall numbers, not just his pacer numbers. But because of recent games, Obi Toppin not being, fully healthy, he dropped below the 10 points per game mark. But in my opinion, I just think that there's a lot that we can look forward to next year. I genuinely think this team is going to be back in the playoffs, and it all just depends on how we start because, I mean, the last 2 years, sometimes we start very good, sometimes we start very bad. I mean, 13 and 15 and still making the finals. So, and then last but not least, I just want to talk about this channel. There's a lot of things I personally would want to change about the way I run this channel. I just think I want to, you know, look up some different topics and just kind of get everyone more engaged in different things. I've been just, watching a lot of different content creators just to seeing what they do. And, there's still a lot that I can work on. And I want to get better at this. I want more people to watch this, more people to enjoy this. So over the next few days, I'm going to be trying new tactics, implement new things just to give you guys a better episode, give you guys more to talk about, more to comment about, and then just figuring out new topics to talk about. So, thank you everybody for watching. Huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. I'm Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby, and go, Sir.